Spiritual awakening is not some magical moment where life suddenly becomes perfect. For most people, it begins with suffering, confusion, and the feeling that something about reality no longer makes sense. The first stage is unconsciousness. This is where most people live their entire lives, controlled by ego, reacting emotionally, constantly distracted, believing their thoughts, fears, labels, and social identity are who they truly are. Life feels repetitive, heavy, automatic. Then something breaks. Usually through pain, loss, heartbreak, isolation, or crisis. And that leads to the second stage, ego death. This is where the version of yourself you spent years building begins collapsing. Your identity, your beliefs, your need for validation, your mask. And while people call this awakening, it often feels more like destruction because the ego fears losing control. Then comes the search, the stage where people begin asking deeper questions. Who am I really? Why am I here? What is consciousness? What is the meaning of life? This is where people explore meditation, spirituality, philosophy, psychology, religion, and inner healing. Eventually, a new version of yourself begins emerging. The authentic self. You stop forcing yourself into environments, relationships, and lifestyles that drain your energy. You become more honest, more intuitive, more aligned with yourself. And finally comes alignment. Not perfection, peace. You stop needing constant external validation. You stop fighting reality. You begin accepting both the darkness and beauty of life without judgment. Because spiritual awakening is not escaping humanity. It is finally understanding it. And perhaps the hardest truth of all, awakening is not a straight line. It is a constant cycle of death and rebirth throughout your entire life.